Hello and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Gamescom LOL Challenge powered by TeamSpeak and Overwolf. I am Andrew Spuddington Spurrier, still joined by Oisin Blood Penguin Molloy.
I will make you say it correctly one day.
I wasn't even aware I was wrong. Regardless, though, we should be able to get into our next game very, very shortly. It is going to be eSuba versus Ninjas in Pajamas. And we should, I think, have all the players in lobby by now. I hesitate to say it because a couple of our games today and other days have been delayed.
Yeah, Ninjas in Pajamas have been busy a lot of the times. You know, they're at Gamescom. They have a lot of fans, good following for the organization.
That's true.
So they have other commitments as well they have to go to. So, but hopefully we can get straight into this game. And honestly, we talked about it a little bit earlier when Ninjas in Pajamas kind of came through against Supurrier in kind of a very bizarre shot-calling circumstance. Neither team looks exceptionally strong.
No. Both of them seem to really have a bit of... both teams, I mean, including Supurrier, who are now out of the tournament and hence irrelevant, but both of them seem to have a bit of iffy decisions, just the one-offs, the lack of direction from Ninjas in Pajamas also enabled Supurrier's heavy split-pushing style to press them back, lose a lot of towers, force a lot of bad objective trades. And really, for the second time, since they ended up playing twice due to the lower bracket, Supurrier had only lost because of the decision-making.
Very poor shot calls, realistically.
Yeah.
But you know, new game, new best of one.
Yeah.
eSuba, definitely not the favorites.
No.
But considering the form that Ninjas in Pajamas are coming into it,
Yeah.
anything can happen.
Yeah, anything indeed. And the winner of this one will go on to the consolation final and will play against the loser of H2K versus SK Prime. So both of those teams very, very fearsome, and we'll see either eSuba or Ninjas in Pajamas shows any signs of being able to face up against them.
Yeah, and I think as well, it's going to be very, very hard. SK Prime and H2K showing very dominant performances in their qualifiers up to and through the winners bracket. Even if one of them loses and goes down to the consolation final to face either Ninjas in Pajamas or eSuba, we assume that Ninjas in Pajamas will be going through if they can get back their form. But honestly, I don't really see anyone else except for H2K and SK in the final.
Yeah, it's very doubtful. I mean, especially when we consider eSuba having already lost to H2K is unlikely to have gotten into a better situation since then. It's just very difficult to compare to H2K's sheer laning strength, and they've learned over the years, I think it's over a year now actually, over the year maybe, since Cloud9 Eclipse, that they can in fact transition that very effectively. But picks and bans, eSuba versus NIP.
Yeah, we do see now picks and bans. Pretty fast paced. Lee Sin and Jarvan, a lot of jungle focus actually for eSuba right now. They want to get freeze. They might, or I'm so fresh as to say, I might be trying to push him onto maybe an older champion, maybe a Nunu. You never know. Lucian, Orianna, Castellan banned as well. Blue side Castellan though. Maybe Mia does not play that. Orianna banned away from him though. He's played that very well in recent games for our tournament. And the last ban will be coming out through. But the Lee Sin and Jarvan ban, it still leaves open Rengar, who is still 4.13. We are still on that patch, so he's still a very, very strong pick. And Vi taken out as well, so a lot of jungle focus.
Yeah, indeed. And you might be right that they're trying to get the Nunu pick out, and they might have some kind of counter strategy planned, and Nunu picks can actually backfire quite often. But I'm not sure you'd want to do that against I'm So Fresh in particular, just because he's so good at it, and he's not going to pick it unless he knows it's the right circumstances. Regardless, though, Alistar has slipped through. Maokai is open.
So is Nidalee.
So is Nidalee, indeed. Both of those can do pretty well in lane against him, and Maokai transitions into a very strong team fighter, Nidalee into a very strong split pusher. For now, we're waiting on NIP's next two picks.
I imagine they'll go with the Maokai. I think NIP kind of they definitely favor that kind of thing. They favor team fighting a little bit more so than split pushing. They're not looking for individual skill, but we do see the bot lane being brought out. Kog'Maw and Nami being picked up there for Voidal and Freeze, respectively. But I like Kog'Maw. I still think his kit's very, very... It's definitely getting some nerfs in the 4.14 patch, which we are currently not on. Yeah. But I still like his kit. I think he's a very, very strong laner, as well as just an amazing hyper carry in the late game.
Yeah, and it's also true that Freeze definitely favors him. Lucian is one of his favorites, but that is, of course, banned in this circumstance. So getting the Cogmore pick out of the way now means maybe eSuba will pick out something like a Tristana to match up to the late game, but you will have that early harass with a Nami Cogmore lane from the Tidecaller's Blessing, auto attacks, empowered auto attacks. It's really quite a brutal combo. A lot of poke damage. eSuba has joked about the Rumble pick before, but I really doubt they will pick it.
Yeah, no, they do end up locking in the Lulu and the Kha'Zix. Kha'Zix, not the hyper carry or crazy amount of damage dealing or damage taking kind of tank he used to be in previous patches. Used to be a crazy assassin, used to be a crazy tank. Now he's just, I think he's in a good place.
Yeah.
You know, he seems to be kind of very balanced right now, so not a bad pick by any stretch of the margin. They will have the wild growth as well if they want to use it as him as a jump in and get everybody knocked up. This could work out. They might pick up a Yasuo for the mid lane.
It's a possibility. eSuba at this point could do it, and you could argue as well for NIP with the Yasuo for the Nami tidal wave and having another big threat. But Yasuo has actually been nerfed a couple of times, you know, small things here and there. But as long as he is able to get through a lane, he can still be a big threat. But Ahri is very much the power pick at the moment. Fizz is open, but not knowing what you're up against, you don't want to pick it. So Starry is going with the more generalist, and Maokai, of course, just because Maokai.
Just because Maokai. But again, this kind of, going with the Ahri, it kind of strengthens the argument to go for a Yasuo. You can mitigate a lot of her poke with your wall. It's kind of like a lane matchup I have seen a couple of times in solo queue, but obviously solo queue does vary. I haven't seen it a lot of times in competitive. They have got a lot of knockups with the Alistar, with the Lulu. It wouldn't be a bad pickup in the sense that they could make it work, but they are going to go with the Zilean and the Corki.
Yeah, okay. Zilean makes a decent amount of sense here. Gives them that extra mobility. Gives them also the ability to play a heavier initiation style with Kha'Zix. He can jump a lot more aggressively into the enemy team, assuming he's planning on having the Chrono Shift cast on him. Halfway through that death, he can come back to life. Alistar also a very strong diver. It's just a generally all-around composition here from eSuba. We haven't considered the possibility, of course, that it's a Zilean support.
No, or Lulu mid. Yeah, it could definitely. I doubt it is. But I think, you know, I've seen a Zilean support one or two times in the kind of fringes of competitive play. Yeah. The Nunu being hovered over, will I'm So Fresh really take it? He's got a lot of time and they haven't locked it in, so I imagine they mightn't go for it.
It would actually work pretty well with the comp.
It would.
Cogmore,
yes, it
Blood
would work
Boil, peeling very effectively. Kha'Zix, of course, yes, he does have the dash to go for the dive, and the same is true of Alistar.
Wow.
And they are picking
They pick it up. Yeah. That's a very nice pick up there for I'm So Fresh. And with the jungle bans, realistically, on the eSuba side, I imagine they kind of expected that. You know, considering that they ban out the Jarvan, they ban out the Lee Sin, they kind of, Vi was banned out as well, unless he was going Rengar, or maybe Evelyn, maybe Elise. I don't know if I'm So Fresh plays a lot of Elise now. I don't think he does. But I think they kind of baited him onto Nunu, and they might have a strat against it. Obviously, he is very, very comfortable on that champion. So when you push someone onto that, you should be very, very confident in your own ability.
Yeah, that is definitely true. But Nunu is so good at controlling the jungle in the early game. It's very difficult to come up with a counter strategy to him other than be effective with your level 1 plan. Be alert with your team and try and keep pushed out so that you can respond to invades. That's really just the core of it, and then it really does come down to situation. If you can respond to the attack, respond to it. If not, you may have to sacrifice buffs and accept that. Nunu will have a bit more trouble in the late game, although, again, Cogmore comp, so he's going to be a little bit more relevant than he would be normally. That's still not necessarily perfect.
Yeah, and as well, he's going to be able to bully out the Kha'Zix a good bit in the early game. Kha'Zix, not the greatest level 3. He's got a decent one, but in terms of just Nunu being able to kind of bully him out in terms of owning the jungle, he should be able to do it if the lanes are pushed up against the eSuba team.
Yeah, and realistically right now, I think they should be pushing out, at least in the top lane. I can't imagine Alistar's early wave clear being that great for him. Ahri, as well, will likely be trying to play quite a heavy pushing game, trying to keep Zilean up against his tower, so he has to choose between CS and harass. Typically, most players will choose CS, especially in the early game. We do have a pause. Presumably, at some point, we will unpause, but it's a little bit difficult to know exactly what the cause is.
Yeah, it might be a small tech issue, maybe someone just getting a mouse sensitivity, or maybe a key binding they didn't quite get done. It's usually something small like that. I do hear messages coming back out, so they might be unpausing very, very soon. But Zillion wins the war of fastest bought items. Knew exactly what he's going for, yeah?
He's gotten all of his items.
All of them, absolutely.
That's very
He's
impressive.
leaving base.
I am...
We're 4 seconds in.
Legitimately impressed.
Yeah.
He's high APM.
That's very, very good. Don't think a level 1 Zillion, though, is going to do quite as scary as maybe some other level 1s. He's got a damage. Does take a bit of time to tick down before it actually gives you the damage, but he's got it.
Yeah, he's unlikely to really gain anything if he's out racing his own team to get to the brush. Level 1 slow wouldn't be the best method. You know, you could, if you wanted to set up a gank, you could take it and do that, or you could put a time bomb down and hope they carry it back into their team and do damage to more than one person. I doubt that, however.
Coming into this level 1, though, as you see, I am so fresh. DCing, might just want to be quickly reconnecting. But the level 1, I'm kind of favoring towards eSuba if they get, you know, a little bit of a... If they catch someone out. You know, I feel like they really do need to kind of, you know, look for people to catch in the jungle at the level 1. But if they get caught themselves, they can be very heavily punished.
Yeah, that is true. In this circumstance, by the way, this may be the same thing that happened yesterday, where NIP actually had like a power cut for their...
They're not very lucky with that, are they?
No, they're not. They, you know, tech issues may have plagued NIP in the past as well for other reasons. But certainly, Ninjas in Pajamas, I really like their comp here. They've got good peel, good damage. Every stage of the game, they are looking very, very strong. Whereas eSuba, I feel if they don't take advantage of their mid-game, are going to fall off.
Yeah, I think they're going to fall off pretty heavily as well, unless they can catch someone. And Ninjas in Pajamas, they've shown that their kind of decision-making come the mid-late game is far superior at the moment, despite maybe, you know, losing a lot of early game trades. You know, that's kind of like their strength. And it's going to be interesting to see exactly how this level 1 goes, in the sense that we should see if, you know, if anyone goes for an invade. They might go for a very standard start, but Alistair brings quite a bit of CC in the early game, so you know, if he can get a good pulverize, they might be able to turn this around.
Yeah, and that is true. NIP have been invading in most of their games so far. They've also had Alistar in most of their games so far, and they've come out with kills quite often. We saw that earlier today.
They've got Maokai, though, this time.
That is true. This time they will have to flash Arcane Smash, I guess. I maybe actually, come to think of it, that might actually be a very good reason not to go for an invade, because Alistar is somewhat of, he's sort of the god king of level 1s, because a flash pulverize is probably the single strongest play you can make at level 1.
Yeah, arguably, yes.
I mean, maybe you could say Blitzcrank or something like that,
but yeah, but you're not going to be in the current meta, I'd say, you could say that is definitely the strongest level 1 you can make. As we even saw earlier today, they didn't even have to make a flash at all. It was they walked straight into them, able to get that going. But I think we're just back into game. Good to see everyone back in there. We actually see Nunu taking a sight stone, and that's the kind of advantage, or sight stone, a sight ward. That's the advantage of taking Nunu jungle, as it allows you, with the consume, you don't have to take as many pots, gives you that early vision.
Yeah, it fits into that whole control style. Since the Nunu can invade you, put down a ward, and walk away very, very safely to begin with, he then knows where you've started. He knows exactly where you're going. But it looks like, to me, they will be unlikely to get into the jungle for free. They should, however, be able to place down at least some wards, since eSuba has not grouped up in position to respond to this. Throwing out a couple of hits, but there's going to be a warding visit, I suspect. I doubt they'll go for the steal here. Not expected to see 2v1s in this situation. So,
2 wards, though. He took 2 wards instead of 1, and 1 biscuit of rejuvenation. Interesting strat. They are going to be able to trade back, though, the ward, realistically, on the blue buff. Getting got 1 ward down. Got to back away, but I would like to see eSuba, knowing that it's information, that he did go with kind of a more team less kind of sustain kind of jungle, which he doesn't have to anyway. I would like to see them go for a little bit of an aggression onto him, maybe punish him for that early kind of sight wards, but I don't really think they can.
Yeah, it's extremely hard to punish a Nunu early, because even if you are able to put him low on health, he is one of the few junglers that will gain health by jungling from the start. He only needs 1 or 2 ranks in his consume, and he will easily be able to sustain himself back up regardless of the number of pots he has. So even if you do push him around, that will cause him problems. His problem, of course, with being invaded and being put behind in that manner is that he's behind, and if Nunu is behind, he really doesn't do much with it.
Yeah, it'd be very, very difficult if he got behind, but shouldn't be too afraid right now. You know, not a lot really that can go wrong for him, especially going against a Kazakh jungle. Not a lot of really that kind of aggression, as we do see now some decent aggression coming back and forth from the bot lane. Kazakh's thrown himself into mid lane, gives him a level 2 gank. Was able to burn the flash battle.
Yep, that's pretty good. Level 2 ganks, of course, these days are less common than you'd think. But what it does enable him to do here is it wastes his time a little bit, but that enables his smite to come back up, meaning he can go buff to buff with the gank instead of that intervening camp we see on most junglers, which alters the timings of when they will be up, and also prevents I'm So Fresh, who's taking a more conventional route, from getting in there to steal it away. If he were to do that, it accounts for the possibility.
Yeah, good play actually in the end of it all, when you add it all up, getting the flash, confusing the timers as to the junglers. Be able to, this bot lane though for eSuba is taking a lot of harass. Freeze positioning himself exceptionally well.
Yeah, that's always what he does, and it's easier to do at this stage of the game when you've got the minions pushing in your favor. It's not like Corki can actually go into range, essentially. If he's competing with the 700 range Kog'Maw, whilst Kog'Maw is poking him back, he will actually end up losing the direct trade, but Kha'Zix is here.
Yeah, Kha'Zix jump in. They do burn the flash from Freeze. They're trying to jump on the Voidal. There goes the exhaust. There goes the heal as well. They do burn summoners on the Freeze. Good glitter lands there. Get a little bit extra damage. Cornigel making his presence known. He's punishing the fact that Nunu ganks early aren't exactly the best of ganks from the jungle.
Yeah, that's true. Can result in early towers, though, sometimes. If people are low on eSuba, and Nunu spies an opportunity, he may well just walk into the lane and not necessarily dive you, but just push up to your tower and start hitting it along with the AD carry. Kha'Zix is now being forced into like a secondary support role, though. He's stuck at tower helping out, and I'm So Fresh says, thank you very much. I will walk in here, take away the things that are rightfully mine by virtue of being Nunu.
He's really definitely playing this right. Actually, he might be in a little bit of trouble, though. He kind of put a ward down. They don't know he's there, though. He's going to be able to steal the golems. There's a nice little bit of counter jungling there. He left it open there for them. Gornigel's been left in his bot lane for quite a while, actually. He's lost quite a bit of jungle farm.
Yeah, Nunu has walked into his jungle and taken the 2 minor camps that there are in there. So that's going to cost him if he wants to clear that out. And if he doesn't want to clear that out, then he's only got half the jungle. So bad choices all around for Kha'Zix. Nunu gets a little bit of an edge, goes back, and interestingly, compared to what he used to do on last time I saw him, which was a while ago when Feral Flare was a better item, but I'm So Fresh actually used to build Feral Flare Nunu. Used to make him quite a significant damage threat, but that is not what he is doing now. He's going for the Quill Coat, not something we see a lot of.
Yeah, he's going to be looking towards getting that Spirit of the Ancient Golem. I'm not sure I like going with the longsword first over the Spirit Stone. Kha'Zix has a lot of kind of early mana problems, just in the sense that he has to spam a lot of abilities early. He's not that strong, so going with the longsword doesn't really help you with sustain or anything. It kind of hinders you more so. Like, I can understand it on a Sin jungle, he doesn't need the mana regeneration, but on a Kha'Zix, it's definitely an odd build.
Yeah, it does mean, of course, that Kha'Zix in this situation can put down a bit more damage. If he's going for a gank, if he catches onto someone, isolation damage will be very significant at this stage. And it also makes him a better duelist if Nunu walks into his jungle to take away his things again. So I can definitely see why he's gone for that. But as it happens, Nunu is not currently doing the invading, and that is giving Gornagle this opportunity to go up here. Wherein Maokai is actually not extending.
No, Alistair went a bit too hard there, a little bit too early. Just forced back there, but I must admit, actually, Lula's been quite impressive with his glitter lances there, from using Voidal as the point of throwing them out. But I'd like to see now. I'd like to see a little bit more kind of coming from this Lulu pick, because as you say, it's not exactly the best of picks coming out. But again, great trait damage.
It's good skills there, but the problem is, as ever, the mana. And you can see Lula's running quite low. As long as they keep it pushed up, though, it should work out in their favor. Keep landing the Glitter Lance poke. Don't know what the pause time is for.
No, might be a small issue again. Never know. Might be able to fix it very, very quickly, hopefully.
We live in hope.
We live in hope. We do. We unfortunately have no direct influence on the result of pauses, unfortunately, but I don't think we do much either.
No direct line of communication, or, well, yes, no direct line of communication for us personally. So we'll hopefully find out what the cause of this pause is as soon as we possibly can. But in the meantime, the cause of the pause. So in a moment, we will of course think of what it is that eSuba are probably going to be looking to be doing in the next couple of minutes. I suspect with the Zilean and with the Alistar, they should try and force a dragon fight and look to catch people out. That really is the strength they have, especially in a mid-game fight where they've actually got pretty good damage as well.
Yeah, I think as well, like, they're at a stage now where their items, no one's really built anything right now. We do see Ghost 1 has got a Sheen versus the Catalyst of Cabochard. Just trying to bully him out, actually doing it very successfully, but once Cabochard does hit that level 7, he will sustain it pretty quickly back up. The tier finished, set up, I should say, for Zilean. He's starting to stack that one up. There we go. There's the ultimate popped, actually. He's trying to go hard onto Cabochard. Cabochard just leveled up. That was a very odd ultimate.
I don't think it did anything. As far as I can tell, he got no hits down with the AD bonus. He didn't tank any damage. He didn't break any crowd control. Didn't even really gain much in terms of positioning there over his opponent. So he's still doing okay in terms of the lane, but that's a bit of a waste. Something he should have taken account of when he was going in, that Maokai could just walk away. However, right now the big flashpoint is likely to be the enemy blue buff. I'm So Fresh is in the area. It looks like NIP are looking to converge towards it, but so is Gornagle. This is the kind of thing we expect to see from a Nunu. Looking for the invade, gets the ward down. He's actually going to walk away.
Whoa, okay, did not even see that going in the mid lane. Ari going hard. Chrono Shift was used. Ignite going to be able to, and the bomb. No Ignite from Ari though. Flash was burned though. Both summoners from Zilean. My camera skills aren't exactly up to scratch right now. Missed that, very, very unfortunately. But again, a very good start for Zilean. He's able to control this Ari exceptionally well.
Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised that Ari is the one dying. I could see being forced out of lane, but with Spirit Rush, with the sustain she has innately, with her wave clear, it seems very, very odd that you would get caught out like that. Must have been a straight damage calculation thing.
Might have been caught on the tower. I don't know why she would, or he would, but the only way I could see that possibly coming out in the favor, unless there was a ton of poke put down beforehand.
Yeah, it's possible. It's possible that Ari was getting a little bit too big for her breaches. That time So Fresh for you, walking out of the enemy jungle with a bomb on his head, but he knows he's fine. He knows he's going to sustain. He knows he's just taken away some jungle from his opponents.
Yeah, are we going to see an early dragon though from the Nunu? We see a little bit of fighting now going on. Voidal and Freeze trying to get a bit of positioning. Nunu is on this top side though. Worst he gets caught out by the jungle. He has no Valkyrie now. He has to force the flash. It's a great tidal wave though. Catches them out. He will be able to get away though. That may force the dragon though, as we do see Nunu and Kog'Maw going toward us. Ari has run down. They have got vision, but honestly, I don't know if they can really do much about this. The tidal wave is down though. They may be able to stop this.
This is risky though for both sides.
Oh my god, there we go. Lula gonna get caught out, but he just has the wild go on himself. Spirit Rush does come out. They're trying to get the dragon now. Gornagle does take that one. Honestly, very well played there by eSuba. They take the dragon. They kind of baited out a fight, realistically, knowing that the wild growth was still up, and Ari had to use a Spirit Rush just to get away.
eSuba was basically capable of contesting that because NIP was low and didn't take account of the sustain on Corki and the pots, I believe, that Lulu had, still in fact has in her inventory. She was able to heal up, and Corki was too. So rather than do what NIP expected and back off, stayed in. I don't really see anyone dying here. It's just a slap fight. But having healed up, they were then able to contest the dragon, which is what NIP hadn't accounted for. Hence, they had to run away, lose the dragon, and eSuba picked themselves up an actual little bit of a lead here.
Yeah, first dragon and first blood going in their favor. Seems to be very, very kind of... It's strange because it seems to be more mistakes from NIP than anything else. They're not... It's not as if they're playing badly. They're playing well enough. They have got a good bit of farm on the cog mod. Maokai is ahead in the top lane. They're even roughly, apart from the kill, on Ari as well. Nunu's made some amazing... Not amazing, but it made some very good counter jungles. They seem to be making bad calls rather than being outplayed.
Yeah, and that is a bad sign for them. Ghost One has actually roamed down to the mid tower to take advantage of the fact that Zilean forced Ari out. And that has in turn taken the teleport. Not a lot of use for that teleport right now, of course, for Cabochard, since the dragon is down, since there's not many other objectives to contest. But that tower could well have dropped with Kha'Zix walking into that lane, with Alistar walking into that lane to help out with the push. So wise decision on both sides. And a small advantage for eSuba.
Yeah, going to free up Alistar for a little bit of farm now up at this top lane. A lot of free damage though went on to the bot lane, as we do see Mia throwdown, just stopping the recall there. Very good judgment there of the range of the turret. Knew he wasn't going to get aggroed.
Range of the twisted advance too.
Range of the twisted advance as well. Yes, exactly. But see now, Corki did go back, has picked up his Sheen and his... Oh, no, here comes that's a great teleport. They force the flash. There comes the ultimate from Nami. Voidal going to get caught up, though. They do force 2 flashes and the exhaust. Now, honestly, I think it's worth for a teleport, but with Dragon not really up, as just taking it, they might just push for the tower.
Very nice usage of the wasted, or quote-unquote wasted, but certainly the lack of a teleport on Cabochard. Immediately looked for that play. They had the ward already behind their opponents, AD carry and support, and they were able to get in, get some crowd control and damage down. And they take the tower by forcing out the AD carry as well. Nunu is top lane, so they should be able to get this. Zilean is heading up there, though.
No,
not going to.
Not quite. They should be able to get it, though. Yeah, they're going to stick around and get on this next one.
He's contend with the wave clear now, though.
Yeah, they do. Actually, Zilean going to come in as well with Zilean, Alistar coming in from the side as well. Maokai does get the Twisted Fans. They will get the tower. There's a snowball. He'll be able to get out of that pretty safely. Bit of a bad positioning for Mia. He kind of made it easier for Maokai just to get out.
Yeah, trying to get as close as possible so that he could just keep stutter stepping towards them, putting down the slows, putting down the bombs. But as it is, 1 tower each overall. Freeze getting quite farmed up, 110 on him. Now they are pressuring the bot tower because they know the jungle is not possibly there, but they cannot stay for that long.
Blue buff traded over there from Gornagle. The wolves are taken there with Nunu doing that little bit of an invade.
His thing.
That's his thing. It's very much his thing, and he's doing it rather well.
Actually, not a big CS.
Yeah, actually, I was going to say he's counter jungle, but he hasn't got a huge CS lead. You do see now pretty much only Maokai realistically that anyone that's ahead for Ninjas and Pajamas. Everyone else kind of going equal. You see Zilean eventually taking out that pink ward. Just under 1 minute and 25 seconds till Dragon. Vision control becomes a big thing for these teams.
jockeying for position over the blue buff. Voidal actually out of position here.
Wow, half helded by one combo. Actually misses the tidal wave. He's going to go down. He has no exhaust. He has no flash either. He goes down. Supports taking each other out, or taking one support out. That's a very, very good play there. Misses the tidal wave, and it's so hard to land those kind of skill shots when they're on top of you, because they could literally just move and the animation won't hit. Oh, there's the flash in there with Ghost 1. It's going to be a zone there from the Nunu. It's not really going to get anything. Actually, Lula needs to be careful. Ghost 1 got the wild growth. He is in the backline. No one really has died. Charm does not hit. They will be able to pick up the tower, though. Or will they? No, they won't. They actually going to have to back away from this. Scoutshot getting taken very, very far away. He's going to have to be taken very low. There goes the Pulverize as well. They're going to take out Corki, but Maokai goes down as well. Kha'Zix goes down as well. Kog'Maw, Freeze is still very, very healthy in this fight. They could keep going.
Yeah, that dive actually had some issues, but can NIP turn around and get anything from it? Zilean still being up says no, wave clear is too good. But basically the biggest problem there for eSuba, they went for that dive, it was 4v5, but they expected, we'll just tank the tower with Alistar, it's fine. It's almost like a normal fight because you're getting so much damage reduction off him. But he actually went a little bit too far. He went out the other side and didn't aggro the tower on himself, whilst of course Corki was tanking the tower, so he was outputting damage in the right place, or the wrong place, at the right time. So as a result, Dragon did get taken there from NIP, as they turned around the dive and themselves 2 kills for the privilege.
Yeah, very nicely done by them. Very well turned around, really, as a little bit of a misplay there from eSuba. Ninjas in Pajamas capitalizing on that, as we do see Triforces finished for both AD carries. Big, big power spike for both of them. Triforce yet to be finished on Alistar. He did rush the Moby Boots. A lot of ages on Maokai. Now, Moby Boots on Alistar. We've seen quite a few boots built on Alistar. Necessary, do we agree with the Moby Boots on this particular case, or does he maybe need a tenacity, or what's our kind of general feeling towards this?
So, Moby Boots on Alistar are... He's one of those characters that's uniquely good with mobility boots. Basically because it means you can chase someone down. It's characters that want to get in range in order to guarantee they can get off their AoE crowd control. Characters like a Mumu really, really function very, very well with that particular boot choice. The problem is, of course, is he tanky enough outside of when he is ulting? At the moment, because it's a very mobile game, there's not too much going on in the 5-on-5 department. And when the fights happen, they're quite bursty. He's probably going to be okay with just mobility boots, but he will want to invest in some tankiness. And at the moment, he's not also getting that much farm, so he needs to finish that Trinity Force off as soon as he can, so they can start itemizing towards tankiness to account for the mobility boots, or just get loads of kills. That's the other one.
Yes, you could just get loads of kills. Global objectives also help as well.
Kills.
I suppose that's why I am a support main. Objectives
so
are...
am I.
Oh, oh, wow.
Bloodthirsty support.
Bloodthirsty support. You play Blitzcrank then?
No, I don't. I play Blitzcrank badly.
Oh,
right. Issue.
Yeah. I'd quite like to see maybe a... I don't know, like Zilean hasn't built any damage items as of yet. He's got with Merc Treads as opposed to Sorcerer Shoes to stop the CC from the Twisted Advance or the Charm, and maybe even just the Snowball. He also has a tier and the Thieves Unholy Grail, so he's pretty utility-based right now. We do see Zilean sometimes going for the Ionian Boots of the City for cooldown, so you do get that constant movement speed. I'm not quite sure he really needed the Merc Treads, but not a bad build.
No, Merc Treads, of course, just generally solid boots. They aren't actually the best for making you resilient to damage. But in this situation where there's always that potential to get caught out by Maokai, rooted down, and chased for a long period, the Merc Treads makes a lot of sense. But yeah, the lack of the Ionian boots could cause him some issues, really, for Zilean. I'm not sure I agree with it overall, just because of how uniquely good cooldown reduction is on Zilean, in a similar manner to the way mobility boots are uniquely good on initiating characters that are range restricted. So, synergy.
Yeah. Sorcerer Shoes was built though on Corky. Just get that hybrid playing going. See Berserker is on his opposite number. Hybrid going to be handed up freeze. And honestly, I don't expect a lot to happen until the next Dragon fight.
At the moment, both sides are going to be perfectly happy to keep farming out. They should be able to try and create some kills. And actually, right now, the focus is looking like it's going to be top lane. Corky is left solo farming bot. Ari is also committed down in that area. Nunu heading up to top lane. Corky, Kha'Zix is nearby, though.
Yeah, Kha'Zix and Zilean. Here goes Zilean now. They're trying to jump onto this. It's just going to be able to back him away.
No.
Nothing really. Kha'Zix wasn't really there to jump in. No real hard CC after the combo was used already on Maokai. They have to back away, but this leaves that mid turret very, very exposed.
See 3 people kill tower somewhere else. Warnagle, though.
Ooh, needs to be very careful. They might actually take this just straight out. They're going to be able to defend it a little bit. Worst ADC West getting in position there. There comes a teleport in, though. They're going to be able to back away from this. This is very, it was especially a very poor teleport from Maokai. He ends up getting caught with a bomb.
Well, at least they've synchronized the teleports this time. Or rather, I suppose that's from the perspective of Cabajard, because at least it's not, you're not going to have another teleport play from Ghost One getting your bot lane, or forcing their flashes. Dragon up in a minute. Either side is willing to engage. They don't want to go too deep and end up having the tanky man in the back line. In both cases, that's the top laner. So looking like they're going to back off. And if we see if both, the problem here is that both team fights kind of want to kite, but you can't both do that, or nothing happens.
Nothing happens if you both kite it out, but a lot of magic damage, though, in fairness, in the side of Ninjas in Pajamas. There, the Maokai, Nunu, Ari, and the Nami, and even Kog'Maw does a little bit of magic damage as well. So there's quite a lot of eggs in the one basket. You can itemize against it. We do see the Hex Tech, or the Hex Drinker being fixed up or finished up by Kha'Zix. He will have that. We've seen more and more kind of magic resist items moving towards, and so Fresh needs to be very, very careful. They may jump on him. He's forced to flash. So we aren't going to see a flash consume Smite Steal.
Not for the next 5 minutes, anyway. eSuba are in position, but they don't really, again, have the ability to jump on any of these tanky frontliners. They need like a really sustained fight where NIP overcommit, and they can abuse that Zilean ult, but otherwise they are likely to just get poked out, or eventually perhaps even caught by Ari with a charm, and murdered for their troubles. So, this is actually Nip's fight to win. Gornagle is the only real significant poke. Corky is putting out a bit as well, but NIP have actually started there, forcing the issue. Yeah,
charm was used, so it will be back up in 2 seconds. The Dragon is not going down just yet. Ghost 1 goes in. He only jumps the Maokai. That's an amazing zoning there from the ult. They do get Kha'Zix down. There's one. They catch on to Lola. He might go down. They do see ultimate. He's probably going to go down in the end. Actually, have no vision of him. It will be Alistair who will be the sacrificial lamb, or cow in this particular case. They are going to be able to pick up a nice shotgun. That was amazing zoning there by Nunu and Nami.
Yeah, that is definitely true. Nunu does pick up the Dragon in the end. But yeah, as well as Starry there, very good mobility throughout the fight. Was able to push back 2 players at once with his simple presence. So he's just going to have to walk away. So NIP take the fight, having forced the issue, having been zoned off a bit. And I got to feel Ghost One went a little bit too deep in the end, which is what they've been afraid of for all this time. Eventually he was forced into it, and NIP come out on top.
Is Alistair going towards a static shield?
Good question.
Because he's already got the Triforce.
It's not implausible. He,
if anything, he needs more tankiness. As we discussed earlier, he needs to be able to tank up damage before popping his ult, if anything.
I can't really think what else he could be doing with the Brawler's Glove, though. Yomu's, but he doesn't have, like, his abilities don't do physical damage, so...
That would be a scary cow, though.
He's very fast.
Oh, incredibly fast. You can pick up a Zephyr as well.
This isn't going to help with him going too deep.
No. He could be just going movement speed Alistair. Picking up all the movement speed items.
Finishes off his build with the Zephyr. I'm not convinced. That would be a bit too troll.
Would definitely be fringe on the highest order.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see what we'll see where he's going with that. He may have bought the Brawler's Glove and then thought, well, I'd actually better go tanky now, building a Negatron cloak.
Well, he had the Negatron cloak first. And then bought into the Brawler. It makes very little sense. If anything, if he had enough money for a Brawler's Glove, surely he had enough money to finish off a Spectral's Cow. It's only about 280 gold in the difference. It's 400 for the Brawler's Glove, 400 for a Ruby Crystal, and to upgrade it. Yes, so it's only about 280 gold in the difference. So,
yes, that does make sense. Now that you've explained that you were including the Ruby Crystal in the price.
Yes.
But, for now, tight fight. Nobody engages.
Good wave clear from both sides. He does get the turret in the bot lane though. They do recognize this is a great bubble. Stops any kind of disengage. And Gonago's been caught out. He's probably going to have to jump away from this. Lula's been caught out as well. Here comes a wild growth. They are going to have to use it there. There's a tidal wave. It will catch up to Lula. She does get slow. She is going to go down. No, she won't. Now she will. No! Oh my god. Ninjas in Pajamas, what are you doing? They completely forgot to say who was taking the kill. Here goes Freeze though. He goes in with the flash, trying to get more and more damage. Istari is coming in from the side. Maokai all this time is in the volley, but Voidal needs to be careful. Does flash away, but here comes Alistair for the side. You have no team. Why are you going in on this? Why would you do this? He has absolutely no support.
He's Alistair.
He's Alistair. Gonna have to back away, waste his ultimate, trying to get the execute kill onto Voidal. All this time, Maokai has just been ticking away at this top lane. He will reach the tower, but very odd fight there from both teams.
Honestly, Freeze was putting out a ton of damage and was doing the right thing the whole time there. But what happened at the end with Ghost One made perfect sense. He actually just messed up his combo a little bit. He knocked them back without getting the pulverize down on the priority targets and was forced to pop his ult and walk out. It was absolutely worth the risk because it was very low risk. There was almost no scenario there where he was going to be killed since NIP had to disengage. They had the numbers disadvantage. But it didn't work out for them. They didn't gain anything from it. So, NIP continued to get small advantages here and there, and eSuba, then they're on the clock, remember.
Yeah, I just think they should have been able to finish off Lula. Surely he was one auto attack away from anyone. Nami could have auto attacked him and gotten the kill. They kind of had a little bit of a miscommunication in terms of who they wanted to give that kill over
I mean, they didn't want to break the chrono shift. That was part of it. They may not have clicked on him to check the buff timer and see that it was going to time out very, very soon. Because the thing about chrono shift is if you don't focus the person with chrono shift on them, you're essentially making them invulnerable for 8 seconds. It's a long, long time, and you really don't want to do that with almost anyone. So unless you can disengage and kite them out, then you really just kind of have to ignore it, kill them, and then kill them again when they come back up. Although with very, very tanky targets, with heavy amounts of resistances, the health you gain back from the Zillion ult makes it really, really hard to get enough damage to focus them down twice.
Yeah, and it looks like it is going to be a static shiv going for Alistair, going for those double damage items effectively. You'd swear he was an AD carry at this stage, as he does have to pick up those items. Kawashard not going to hit that ward, though. They will hit one other one. Get those 2 wards out. Now comes the Baron bait. With a Nunu, with a Maokai, they can take this exceptionally quickly.
Got a feeling I played AD carry Alistair once in a troll game in Season 3. That wasn't very good.
I wouldn't expect it to be very good.
Yeah, you kind of do need to be tanky to some degree.
Well, that was before his buffs.
This is true. He wasn't... I think I was actually playing him in bot lane too, so... the proper place for all AD carries, regardless of ranged or melee distinction. It was not... Yeah, it was not a very sensible game. However, Alistair, though, with his double damage item, will do a lot to towers, and will also clear waves really, really quickly with that static shift. So, as long as NIP can't force down the mid lane, then it's actually fine for him to be split pushing as he is right now. He's got his TP. There's a ward behind, then he can teleport in on it, but I don't think there actually is one. He has to be careful not to overextend, though.
Yes, he has to be very, very careful. Dragon is up, though. He will not be available for that fight. Or will they go for a little bit of a steal? I don't think they will.
I'm going to try.
I don't think they're going to try. This is another Dragon going on for NIP, completely free. Honestly, with a Nunu, that was... It's crazy amount of true damage he could put down onto neutral objectives.
You can't outsmite him, but that doesn't mean you can't contest. And they just didn't go near, they didn't want to fight, didn't want anything to do with that fight. But what's your plan, eSuba? What objective are you looking to win this game off of? Because at the moment it looks like they're just planning on sitting here until we hit 50 minutes and Cogmore does 1,000 damage every hit.
It's all on the AD carry, Alistair. Bloodthirster next item.
I'd be impressed. It would
Actually,
be
yellow
very
build.
manly.
You could go yellow build, Alistair. Build an IE.
It would do a lot of damage.
It would do a very.
That, however, is not the problem with AD carry Alistar.
There's none of his scalings, really.
Yeah, none of his scalings. He doesn't have brilliant base attack speed. And also, he needs to get into melee range. He's not actually invulnerable, in spite of what people may think when he's at 70% damage reduction.
And there's no real tank on the side of eSuba. We obviously assume that Alistair would be kind of the designated tank, considering they are going with the Kha'Zix jungle. But it's very, very difficult for them to try and get anything really in a sustained fight. Because as you say, Freeze is scaling up very, very nicely. He's got his Blade of the Rune King, he's got his Triforce, he's going towards his, I assume is a Static Shiv, might be a Phantom Dancer, most likely a Static Shiv. So it's going to be quite hard for them to deal with this the longer it goes on.
He's very, very fast actually Freeze now for a Cogmore. Blood Boil, he's got Alacrity Boots, Zeal, Triforce. It all adds up. And that means he's difficult to get onto in a team fight, so AD carry Alistar may actually end up tanking for longer than he'd like. He needs to basically already be on Cogmore at the start of the fight if he wants to do anything to it.
Freeze, or I'm so fresh, I should say. Damage.
Oh, that's brave.
Ooh, that is brave. Equal kind of trade there, but if you have Voidal who will be able to do it, there's Garnigal. He has to jump away. This is the problem. They can defend towers very, very well, but they can't really get caught out in a straight-up fight.
They can't fight, and they're not playing a split push game. eSuba really just aren't doing anything with their time apart from trying to farm up and wait for an opportunity, but I don't think the opportunity is coming. Ninjas in Pajamas are playing very slow, very calm, collected, cold, calculating play. What the?
They're going to go in. Alistair taking solo. Here comes the zone, though, from the absolute zero. Alistair is still going very strong. Freeze is still going. He's trying to get juked out. Here comes Corky on the backside. They do get a flash engage, though, onto him. Sorry is going onto Alistair. He does get caught up, but he did have the chrono shift on him. Voidal kind of flashed and did nothing there, but here comes Melgar. He gets knocked back into a turret. He may be in trouble, though. He has not got his ultimate running. This is a little bit of overextension. They do trade him back. It is a 1-for-1. Odd engage there from Alistair, but they still come out of it equal.
I suppose so. I mean, I was just ragging on them for not going for opportunities, and I guess 1-for-1s are okay, but they only got the 1-for-1 because Cabochard went a bit too deep trying to capitalize off the advantage they just gained. So eSuba there, a very wacky fight because you can't really kill Cogmore when you're 2 on 3 in the middle of the jungle with 2 heavy PL characters right next to him.
Yeah, it was.
He's hitting fast.
He's able to take out 2 wards with 1 sweeper.
Wow.
You know?
That's high attack speed, and he's critting a lot too.
Yes, he is. He is able to do a bit of damage. Where's ADCUS? Gonna have to jump away from this. Don't know if he
actually slow.
He got the slow. Good. Actually, that was a very, very good. The glitter lands caught the 2 of them, Nunu and Kog'Maw, in kind of 2 separate angles. Very nice. What do you wait now? The Baron dance continues.
Yep, they are forcing right now, and of course NIP. They have the ability to do Baron very, very safely. So Fresh can do it. I don't want to say he can solo it. It's obviously a kind of a gimmick build that you could do back in the day on Nunu, but I wouldn't expect to see that happening this time. He doesn't have the spell vamp required, but with 2 people, it's very, very plausible. Which means, of course, the split here from Cabochard is that much more scary.
Yes. They have to react to this now. There is no teleport from Alistair. There is a teleport, though, for Maokai. Honestly, they have to go in on this now. Even if it does mean that they go in and Zilean is pushing the mid lane, they're just going to be able to get vision. They're going to have to sacrifice this bot lane tower.
Yeah, they may be able to just try starting up the Baron to draw Cabochard away. Be a very risky one, though.
Oh, Maya gets caught up by the charm and the bubble. He actually does not use the chrono shift on himself, though. He actually gets a good shield on him from the Seraph's embrace. Yeah, I'm going to have to back away from this, though. Nunu is a very, very fast Yeti. He is very menacing as well as he runs at you. Maokai gets the tower and is still going.
Yeah, well, Nunu isn't himself a damage threat, but the problem is if you get hit by one snowball, it's so easy for the Freeze or the rest of NIP to follow up. And that is a real problem very, very quickly. So, looks like they're going to start it to my mind, but eSuba, I'm not getting caught.
No, they aren't getting caught. They are going to get caught up by a great tidal wave. There comes the Lulu ultimate. This is a very big cow. That is
really
the worst time for a pause. Something seriously must have gone wrong. And Gornagale, he's on the completely wrong side of it. He is not even in this fight right now. All he can do is throw out missiles. And if he jumps in, it's practically suicide.
Yeah, it's going to be very, very interesting to watch this fight going. But it definitely looks like NIP should win this. They've got Freeze in a position where it's going to be very, very difficult to focus him. You'll notice Gornagale is actually positioned in such a way that he really can't get across, but it looks like we're going to be unpausing. So guys, hold on to your hats.
Here we go. Yeah, no, it's going to be Ghost 1. He's going to just keep tanking, but they actually jump in on the side there. They're trying to get more and more damage going down. Here we go. They try to see if now Ghost 1 is still going. He's actually healing up for quite a bit. He's still not going to be able to do that much, though. He survived a lot longer than I expected. You see no one really going down that low. I am so fresh. We'll be able to heal up. And as you said, Freeze and Astari were excellently positioned for that fight, and it was another amazing tidal wave from Void.
Yeah, Freeze is just so much damage right now.
Yeah, they're trying to burst him down, though. He actually has got the damage. He is going to get a little bit more. It's going to be the Ignite, though. Not quite. They are going to turn back onto it. He's going to have to back away, though. He really doesn't want to stay. He wants to stay, but he doesn't want to stay. Fresh, you need to be so careful. They are trying to do this. Here comes Freeze, though. They do get the chrono shift onto him.
He's going to die. He's going to die.
He is going to die. He is going to go down. No, he doesn't actually. Yes, he does. Didn't see the bomb go off. A little bit of a visual bug there. They do get the Baron buff off of him, but nonetheless, they do take Zillion down and only trade one Baron buff. Still worth it for them in the end.
Oh, absolutely worth it for them. But it was down to Freeze making a really clutch play there. His flash in, 2 or 3 auto attacks to take out 2 people. One died, one chrono shifted. That was enough to zone them completely away from the Baron, long enough for NIP to finish it off. Freeze even did contribute, I think, a bit of damage towards that Baron in the end. Now, they may have overstayed here, though.
No, that was very nice. On again. Oh my god, Gornagale, what are you doing? He has the wild growth onto him, but it's not going to be enough. Astari is so mobile right now. They may want to chase him. It's another good charm, though, on the worst ADC. He needs to back away. They might try to get a consolation prize of just getting this blue buff. Honestly, I don't really think they could really do anything else from that. And that was kind of a strange jump in there from Gornagale.
He was desperately trying to hold them down, hold them in place for the rest of his team to catch up and to get some kills back. Because now, in this situation where NIP is nearly 10k ahead, where they've got the Baron buff, where they've got their shop, they've got a better scaling team, it's looking grim for eSuba. And I find it seriously doubtful that they will be able to hold on to certainly their inner tower. Very likely they'll lose an inhib on this push.
It's going to be so hard. Freeze has positioned himself so perfectly in these fights, being able to, and even sacrificing himself just to keep the Baron safe, make sure his team could get that, because there was a little moment there where they kind of backed off it and tried to go back on it as it was low, so almost didn't work out for them in the end, but they do come out with 8 kills to 5 in favor, 4 towers to 2, 3 dragons to none, or 1 I think it is, and a Baron to none as well, so they have got a full palette of advantages.
Yes, they have every single color of the rainbow except for most of them. They should be able to take this tower. I really don't see this staying up.
Split push Alistair though, it's not looking bad.
Yeah.
They do trade turrets.
It's aggressive though, and it's very dangerous to overstay.
Yeah, Lulan needs to be careful. He's going to be able to get out though in the end. Here comes the teleport from Alistair. Cancels it, baits out the tidal wave. Alistair should have to back her out now. They will not be able to defend this turret though, as everyone is so healthy right now. Voidal able, including the Baron buff, Voidal able to add to that regen.
Yeah, I'm not sure whether Freeze... Whoa, that damage. Okay, I'm not sure whether Freeze is going to be looking to go for that inner tower up top, but this should be the inhib.
Yeah, that should be the inhib as we do see Astari using his mobility. Actually, we do see Ghost 1 coming in from the backside. He pops his ultimate. No one really going after him. Gornagal jumping on the cow shard. He is not the person you want to be focusing. He does get a good 3-man knock-up though with the pulverize. He is no longer any tanky though. He does get the chrono shift. He goes down, but that means Zillion does not have that for himself. He tries to go back in. He is the only hope for them right now. He goes down in the end as well. Lula, you're in a rock at a hard place, or maybe an inhibitor and inhibitor turret. And you see Worst ADC West trying to go 1-for-1. He's not going to be able to do it though as he executes though from the ultimate. That's going to be game.
Yeah, it will be. And NIP have been building themselves towards this victory for a little while in this game, but they've certainly managed to finish it out in a pretty commanding way. It's much more aggressive than we'd actually been seeing from NIP this entire game. They've waited for their power spikes on Cogmore and Ari, and they've gone with that, taken down the Nexus, and that will put them into the consolation final.
The consolation final where they
doesn't
will
decide third place.
No, it will be the loser of SK Prime versus H2K later in the day that will face up against Ninjas in the Pajamas. Honestly, though, that was not that bad from Ninjas in Pajamas. It's a lot better from what we've seen from them. They made a lot of definite decisions, and Freeze played and Voidal played exceptionally well.
Freeze was on fire. He really did a very, very good job in almost every situation. I saw at least I mean, Cogmore is not normally the character you associate with clutch plays, and stuff like that Baron flash in double kill was really, really
very
good.
nice.
Really, really nice stuff from him. But of course, that will put them through. That will put eSuba out of the tournament. They have dropped out of the bottom of the lower bracket now, and they will be Ninjas in Pajamas facing the loser of H2K versus SK Prime. That will be our next match. That will be in 2 hours, I want to say.
2 hour break, I'm pretty sure.
Maybe less, I don't know exactly. But regardless, 2 hours, right. So, guys, do not go anywhere. Or do, but come back. Come back when we are back. And we will have H2K versus SK Prime, which should be probably one of the most interesting games we've got. So
yeah, it's, as you say, it's a repeat of the final of the Riot Challenger Series. And I'd like to say that H2K are going into it as kind of like momentum favorites in the sense that they have kind of in the past come out stronger. But you never really know. These are two very, very strong challenger teams, and it could go, and a best of one can go either way.
Yeah, it's been a little while since they played as well, so we'll see how it goes for them. But guys, will be a little bit of time, so in the meantime, feel free to check out FACEIT, which is a service that enables you to get matched up against players and teams of a similar skill level to yourself and compete for fabulous prizes. Also check out TeamSpeak, also check out Overwolf, both very useful pieces of software. And we will be back when the game is up and when it's ready to go.